Are you good? Okay, hi.
I don't know if you have a plan. We're happy to start if you want.
That would be great.
Okay. So we did a survey of the bargaining unit. And I just wanted to share, we gave people some space to make some comments if they wanted to after they answered, some multiple choice questions. And I just have pulled a couple of those that I felt like really represented in general kind of what the comments said, kind of the overwhelming response that we got. And I just wanted to share a couple of those. Quote, if the district wants to attract and retain qualified, passionate teachers, then compensation must reflect the real costs we carry financially, physically, and emotionally. Respect isn't just words, it's shown through action. Both of the items, so we put both no reprisals and grievances and representation in all meetings, should automatically be included. These should already be a part of any ethical business entity's employer agreement. Not having them both reflects negatively on the district administration, implying that they're trying to get away with something underhanded. The district needs to understand that if we are not getting an increase in pay that covers the added cost of insurance and inflation, they are giving us a pay deduction, which is a pretty bad look. Representation in all meetings should be a sticking point, and a deal shouldn't be reached until the district at least engages in dialogue and lengthens the list of meetings a representative can attend. A $1,000 raise on the base feels like a slap in the face and evidence of continued disrespect to teachers by the district. And then the last one was, all I see is 501 saying no to anything we want to discuss or have concerns on. So just, I mean, in complete transparency, like I have genuine concerns about my ability to get a contract ratified at $1,000 raise for staff. We feel like what we resoundingly heard back was that having some additional language about representation in meetings, including language about no reprisals in the grievance article itself, would go a long way to help people swallow that pill a little bit better, for lack of a better term. People felt like that was something that, at the very least, if they're going to kind of take that $1,000 hit, that those were things that they felt like they needed to have, kind of was the overwhelming comment that we got back. So we just really, we have serious concerns about kind of if we were to say, okay, let's TA it and take it to the bargaining, I think we'd be right back here. And I don't feel confident that that's the best, that right now we have TA'd the best things that we can to put forth in a package to them.
Okay. So we have agreed to language changes and we have TA items during the time that we've spent together, June and July, and over the course of all of last year. So there have been yeses at the table. So I just want to make sure that that's clear, because you said that you're being told no. But we have multiple yeses where we have agreed to items that have a financial impact. And things, quite honestly, that needed to change for quite some time. So it's unfair to say that it's all no's, because it's not.
I would just want to clarify, that's not me. I'm just reading people's perceptions that they're providing to me and trying to sum up kind of the general idea of what we got.
We have had yeses at the table.
I'm not disagreeing that there are things that we have TA'd. I think that people felt like the grievance, no reprisals, and the representation were just big items for them. And so I think they felt very much like it was just kind of a no. And there was just no, they just felt like that was just unfair, I guess you could say. And so I think it just kind of left a bad, I mean, you know how it is when you end on that note, that's what you remember, I mean, that kind of lingers in your feelings. So I think that was just a reflection of how people felt after we walked away in July.
How many people responded to the survey?
I won't give you an exact number, but it was well over 50% of the bargaining unit that I sent it to.
50% of the bargaining.
That I sent, yeah. And I won't pretend that I have every single person. The list I'm working off of is what you gave me plus what I'm able to pull from board docs, but I'm sure there's a couple that I missed.
Do you have proposals prepared?
I don't. We would like you guys to revisit the representation language that we've already provided, and we would like you guys to revisit the grievance language that we've already provided.
I guess I felt like we had pretty lengthy discussion and with Ms. Whiteman had provided information where, you know, that retaliation language is part of the existing employment laws.
All I can do is come to the table and represent the way that people feel, and I think people just felt like if that's really something that is already in place, that it's not a big deal to then put it in the article itself and just say, yeah, this is a commitment that we've made and here it is, and black and white for everyone. I think is kind of how they felt.
Well, I feel like we can take a caucus and visit as a team and come back together.
It's 3:47.
Let's say 4:15.
Okay, we'll see them. Thank you. Okay. So, yeah, really, yeah. No, it's okay. I know, I'm just. Still there.
Ready?
Yep.
Okay. I wanted to start by reviewing the list of items that we have TA and agreed to so far. Article 30. We have TA to move to $15 an hour for supporting extracurricular activities, $18 an hour for building level curriculum work, $25 an hour for tutoring and district curriculum, and an increase of $30 and $60 for professional development. We agreed to adding the LSCSW language to Article 31. We have agreed to adding $1,500 to the addendum for physical therapists. We are in the process of agreeing on adding language around addendums for unified sports. Also in progress on adjusting language that was requested around Article 38. And we also added language in Article 2 around business day. So I just want to be real clear that there have been yeses at the table and financial impacts already agreed to. Also want to spend a little time clarifying the package that was presented by the district the last time that we met. Topeka Public Schools has been committed for years to be the highest paying district in the area. That's true without us having even agreed, for this school year. So we do try to show appreciation through the salary package that we present at the table and the way that we support the benefits that we try to provide for employees. So I just want to make sure that that's clear. Before we move forward, Mr. Binky is going to reshare the information around the salary proposal that was on the table.
I'm gonna talk a little bit about health insurance too, because I know that's a hot button, and I think I could, or I hope I could help everybody understand what I understand about what's getting ready to happen with health insurance. And what keeps me up at night, just to be honest with you. Yes. Know how. You know how.
I will say, we're
You know
trusting
how-
Gary to hand out papers.
You know how. This is why I'm not. Right? Tell me when everybody's got something to look at. My team has it. And I've got some here too. I
Got
don't
an
have,
extra.
I don't have enough for everybody,
And I know Pete's up there.
but I'm sure you guys can share. Team behind you. Got enough to. Definitely start, please. So with the salary piece, just re-emphasizing. The offer of the step, the $500 plus the 1,000, and the step increase, I think gets overlooked because, a district the size of ours, the number of employees, that $500 is $1.5 million, right? Every year, we got to figure out where that $1.5 million comes from. So it's not just $1,000, but we can come back to that, but let's talk about the health insurance spreadsheet. And this is Blue Cross Blue Shield only, okay? And this is what worries me the most with our group health insurance plan and the dollars that we have to spend as well as the dollars we have to spend as employees. But the left side of this table, the left side of the goal, shows from plan years 23, 24, 25, which is the previous 3-year rate cap experience. 26, 27, 28, right, starts October 1, and that's where we hit these 8.5%, 11.5%, and the 14.5% increases based on our claims experience. If past claims experience is a predictor of future claims experience, we're going to hit those rate caps. And I want you to kind of just see where those rates are going over the next 3 years. Even at the 8.5, 11.5, and 14.5% rates, and I've shared with the group, there's a very real possibility without our rate caps, we could see increases in the 26 to 30% range, right? And I hate calculating that, but I think it's important for you to understand 93% of our group that's enrolled in health insurance of the 1,915, 93% of those folks are an employee only. Makes sense. Most of us are an employee only, 93%. A big block of those folks are in employee only C and employee only D. 800, and these are our enrollment numbers, May of 25, 850 in that employee only C, 457 in that employee only D. If you get one thing out of this, I've said over and over again, employee plan D, the district is responsible for 100% of the cost of a single plan. You don't have to negotiate it. We've already agreed contractually, because that contractual agreement's between the district and Blue Cross and Blue Shield. We've already agreed to pay for 100% over the next 3 years. So I just kind of pointed out just the single plan because that touches 93% of us. 93% of the folks that take insurance are in a single plan. Most of those folks are in C and D. Shared with you, counselors, right, should be really, if they're discussing benefits with you, right, really think about is A and B the right option versus C and D? Because it's important, particularly over the next 3 years where these rates are going. But you look at Plan D where we own the increases, right? And we know we're at FY 26, done deal. That's an 8.5% increase. We own the $250,000 increase. That's going to be baked into the FY 26 budget. We own that. Because contractually, we're going to pay 100% of the single D. And that's at about 457 enrollees in that Plan D, which with these rates, you could probably imagine we're going to drive some people in the D. I certainly suspect that. Certainly, we're going to drive some folks into C for sure, additionally. So does that make sense? This is Blue Cross and Blue Shield's rate. This is just what it looks like. If our claims, our past claims experience is a predictor of future claims experience. These back to back years of 100 and unfortunately this year about 37% loss ratio. So we kind of look at this, and I'm not going to focus too much because we talked a lot about this when we passed the health insurance, right? The monthly rates, right? These are all monthly rates. And this is 24-25 and 25-26. What we've said we are committed to those 25-26 rates, right? We're baking in that $718, which expired, right? Was only good for the 24-25 plan year, where based off where we're at here, you know, the district's contribution to a single plan would reset to $537.62. We're saying we're going to give you $600 for that single plan. Okay. If you look at the little box at the bottom, overall, based on current enrollment in the plans, this is what FY 25-26 looks like. We're going to send Blue Cross and Blue Shield, I anticipate, close to $18 million. Topeka Public Schools, the board is going to send them about $13.8 million. We as employees out of our pocketbooks are going to send Blue Cross and Blue Shield, right, combined about $4 million. So we're running about 77% employer paid, 23% employee paid over all plans. Make sense? Let's go to the single plan, which is the next page, single annualized. This page, remember, we pay 100% of Plan D and a big chunk, about 84% of Plan C, based on our contributions. And so it's, you know, we're just looking at the single plans. It's simply the total cost for monthly cost, right? If you look at single C, $712.50. Multiply that times 12 months, it's going to cost us $8,550. Of that, because the district's kicking in $600, right? We're going to kick in $7,200. Employees going to pay $1,350. Districts kicking in 84% of that single C. You look at the single D, $457, $583.33. We pay 100%. Employee pays $0. So if you look at the box, based on the enrollment numbers, May 2025 of the single plan, which 93% of us are in, single annualized is about 15.2 million of the 17.8. I anticipate us sending Blue Cross and Blue Shield October 2025 through September 2026. Those are real numbers, that it's gonna, take to maintain our coverage. The board's gonna maintain $12.7 million towards that effort, or 84%. We as employees will kick in almost 2.5 million, or 16%. So 93% of the employees, the district is still maintaining this year, 84% of the cost of your healthcare. And that is significant. That is hard work. And it's only gonna get tougher, folks, over the next 3 years. I'm sorry. I have looked at this. I have talked with some of the members, the last couple of weeks. I've had in my head, oh my gosh, maybe we trade dollars here and give people, we'll just take it out of, board paid health, which I've come back full circle. That's a terrible idea, but we give you the dollars and you go out to the marketplace, and, maybe we could do that. But I'm seeing, I don't know if anybody else, right, reports marketplace, the big beautiful bill, we're yanking money out of the affordable care, the subsidies, marketplace rates, January of 2026. Many states, they're going to have increases upwards of 70% of the rates that are published in 2025. So that's probably not a great idea either. We better stay engaged with Blue Cross and Blue Shield right now, with our locked in agreement, 8.5, 11.5, 14.5. Even though it feels a little impalpable at times, it's more workable than I think it could be if we went out and tried to do some other things. So that's why, my comments earlier in the negotiations process, that wow, this next year, we as a health insurance committee, and you've got folks on that committee too, we need to dial that group back to a smaller group, and we really got to start making some tough decisions on our group health. What's this look like beyond not just 25, 26, 26, 27, 27, 28? What does it look like after them? And I think there's a lot of decisions to be made. And who knows what health insurance, right? I don't know what's going to happen at the federal level, what they're going to do at the federal level with those rates. But again, it's not aimed at scaring anybody. This is reality in the health insurance, healthcare marketplace. This is the state our country's in healthcare. It just is. It just simply is. And I just wanted to make sure we all have the same understanding that a big portion of us do take an employee only. The district's commitment this year, with the dollars we think we're going to send to Blue Cross Blue Shield, we're going to cover 84% of that cost. We're committing that in the budget. I know employee spouse, employee child, employee family, those are tough. I know that. You don't have to tell me. I know that, and look forward to working with the Health Insurance Committee over the next course of this next year. Just hopefully we could strategize and come up with some ideas that maybe we can mitigate some of these increased costs. That's what I'm hoping for. Again, this is exactly what you had, but includes the step 500 plus 1,000, includes our estimate for what we agreed to on Article 30, all the supplemental pay that Brenda and Sarah headed up the group that worked hard this past winter to come to agreement. We agree with that. That's a good thing, but it's going to cost around 150,000, I think, to implement that this year. The two PTs, we've agreed to $3,000 bucks, I think, total, and then the unified sports collectively, that's a hard number to come up with, but we think that's about 200,000. So just for that certified group, just in salary, not benefits, but salary, that's about $2.5 million we're going to commit to, plus what we're committing to, or would like to commit to, on the insurance side for this upcoming year. With that, I will yield back to my colleague on my right.
Thank you. When I was going through the list of items that have been on the table TA thus far, I neglected to mention that the district's one proposal over the last 2 school years was some language change on Article 43, to which you had shared you didn't feel like that was something that you could ratify and that we had pulled from the table. So just want to make sure that that's clear as well. We are willing to put together some counter proposal language. If you are willing to consider the full salary package that Mr. Mickey just went over.
I guess I'm confused how we're not considering the full package. We don't. Yeah, I guess I don't understand how we aren't considering the full package.
What I heard earlier was that there were feelings that $1,000 on the base was not respectable, but we need to make sure that we're also including the $500 step and the money that Gary has set aside to continue the appendix that would have sunsetted or is sunsetting, sorry.
Yep.
And put that money towards benefits for next year. So that's what I mean when I'm saying the full package.
I didn't correlate the data, so I can't say this for certain, but I mean, there are some staff that the $500 doesn't apply to. So I don't know that those are the people who had a sticking point with that. I can't say that for certain because I chose not to look at who said what unless I was trying to figure out if they accidentally voted twice, basically. So I tried to not take any of that into. So I don't think anyone is discounting the $500 step for the staff that are able to receive that. But I also think that to a certain extent, I think for a lot of our staff, and I think as a district and as an association, we really put an emphasis on not only high quality staff, but staff that have experience and longevity, and we want to celebrate them and thank them for their service. And generally speaking, in the state, our salary just doesn't match up when you start to get higher on the salary schedule. So while I hear what you're saying about in the area on base pay, right? But like we are dealing with a large population of staff that also have a lot of longevity, that being first in the area doesn't hold true for them. And so, I mean, you know, when they see other districts providing other benefits that are non-compensatory benefits, and their salary potentially looks a little bit nicer at their level of experience and or their level of education, that seems really lucrative to them. And I can't, as a person who's coming up on the level of enough longevity, I feel pretty good in saying this, that I mean, I'm starting to hit that point in my career too. So I can understand the frustration with that. So maybe it's that we need to look at, and I'm not saying right now, maybe we need to look at how we apply that money to the base and whether that's equitable to those people who have put in more years than those, you know, starting out. And not that those people are, I'm not trying to say that base salary isn't important and we don't value those staff that come and fill those positions for us, but I do think that there's a general sentiment from people that the longer they stay here, the less they feel appreciated in those raises and things, simply because eventually you don't get the $500 step. Eventually, you're not as competitive in your salary as perhaps we are in our base pay.
Couple of thoughts. One, last year we did make pretty significant changes to the article around longevity. Really extended, the amount that we're paying for our longest serving staff, so trying to show appreciation for those folks. I took the salary schedules from 24-25 and compared like masters to masters plus 15. And Topeka Public Schools was definitely competitive, if not above where surrounding districts were. I have not done that. Might have been 23-24 before we did 24-25. But I have looked at that data. I am willing to re-look at that data because that is feedback that we hear. But I'll tell you, when I did look at it, we were not in a bad place. So just sharing.
I think it's also, I mean, in a time where I think we're seeing more and more job opportunities be something that's not necessarily tied to a desk 8 to 5. I think it is a little short-sighted of even us as an association to only consider districts that are within a reasonable driving. I mean, we have staff that drive 2 hours right now to work for us. I don't consider I mean, I'm never gonna drive 2 hours to a job, right? But I appreciate people who are committed to doing that, but we're also seeing a place where a lot of people's spouses can pick up and move anywhere in the state to allow their staff to, you know, their spouse to have a better paying job because they don't have to go to an office every day. So I do think that we need to also start to consider how we measure up statewide too, which is, I mean, frankly, is worse. The farther out in the state we go, the lower on the scale we drop. So I'm happy to provide you some of the numbers that we've run about that statewide. You know, especially as you get farther and farther and farther up the salary schedule and down in experience, we fall well below 53rd in some of those places. And that's a lot. I mean, that's pretty low. So, I mean, I think we do need to take some of that into consideration too.
I hear that. So I think our question is still on the table as far as we would be willing to put together some counter language on Article 9. If you're willing to consider the package as proposed.
I mean, yeah, I think, resoundingly, I think what we heard back was that people they felt like they needed those things in place in order to just take seriously that compensation package. So I think we're happy to revisit compensation on our side. If you guys are willing to put together some information and ideas on those other pieces. So yeah, I mean, if you want to go caucus, and I don't know if you did that already or not, or if you need some time for Article 9 or.
We would need more time for Article 9.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, we are. Yeah, how much time do you guys need to do that?
20 minutes?
5:02? It's 4:42, or do you want to just call it even 5?
Maybe 5:05.
5 o'clock, okay,
5:05.
5:05,
I will
okay.
negotiate when we come back. I love it. I have commuted for 2 hours. I would recommend it. Anybody that's thinking about that in Denver, Colorado. So, and it's, at 5:25.
Yeah. Okay, we have prepared, some counter language for Article 9, and we would be agreeable to this if you are agreeable to, the salary package. I'll let Mr. Minky ask them. Once you.
Knock on wood.
I get better every time. I got this, I'm getting better every time.
We believe in opportunities.
We need some good,
Or did you just make 12?
We can share.
we can share it.
We can share. Somebody else.
Okay, our counter language is there will be no retaliation against any professional employee or participant in the grievance procedure.
Just looking at page 14 from last year's negotiated agreement. You have this listed as E.
Yes.
Would that be adding on to E as well?
When we met on 6/26, you all had struck E
Mhm.
and proposed the language below in red. So
Follow.
we're coming back, with this change just to E.
Thank you.
Yep.
I think. So I think, we felt like in our caucus, what we talked about was we looked at the salary proposal numbers that Gary put together. Which pre-tax was the $2.18 million. And then we looked at what we got back, the feedback that we got back from the bargaining unit. So only 11% of the people who responded and had an option between Article 9, Article 20, only 11% picked Article 9 over Article 20. So we felt like if Article 9 is the thing that we want to look at updating language wise, that we felt like what we heard from them in those numbers is that they would need a more significant raise on the base in order to take that. So then we actually asked them those questions, what would you take? And we went back and looked at that and felt like doing another $1,000, so 2,000 total on the base was where the majority of people kind of fell into. The overwhelming majority felt like that would be their kind of, we can take that. And give up the representation piece. So that's kind of our counter to that. So my numbers were never as good as Gary's.
Brenda, can I clarify something? You said 11% of the people
That responded to the survey.
who responded to the survey.
Mhm.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So pre-tax, what I figured out, and again, I hope Gary can be a little bit more specific, was that it comes right around to about 1.24 million additional dollars from last year to add that additional $1,000. So we just, we looked at the new monies and things and KSDE's recommendations. So their recommendation was 4.4%, which would put us at just under 2,200. But we felt like getting the language in Article 9 offset a little bit of that, which is why we came down to the $2,000 number.
So my question is, you would be then taking money that we were going to put towards insurance and place it on the base instead?
I don't generally get in the habit of telling Gary where the money comes from, but it was not my intention to give up the language about what the board paid portion is now.
No other questions?
Okay.
Shall we caucus?
Yeah.
$550?
Okay.
we were able to review and discuss your proposed salary table. This is not something that we can agree to. We feel like it would be irresponsible, to commit this much money to the base and the step. Mr. Minke's gonna share some additional information on why.
So, with our 1,000 on the base plus 500 and, for your group, I've kind of shared with you with the other items, that we agreed to, right? We're about two and a half million or a little over $2.5 million. And not counting the $1 million, I'm gonna add into the budget that we're gonna have to be in there year after year after year. It's not an addendum, it's gotta be in the budget. Plus we have 1,000 other employees that we're gonna have to do something equally as fair with. With the package that we've moved forward, just the salary, the additional taxes outside of what I think we ought to be doing on health insurance. We're gonna be, just over $4 million in just salary. We're gonna add another 1.2 million to that budget, to support the health insurance rates at where I shared with you I'd like to be, because they're gonna go up again next year. You look at the KSDE budget document, I've told you the SF-25, it's out there. General fund difference from 25-26 to the year before is $3.8 million. So, right, anytime we put something on that salary schedule, that money's got to be there for the next budget year and the next budget year and the next budget year. We have stretched the dollars in the offer to the point where we're at a hole. We can't go higher, and fiscally, for me, recommend that to the board that they will be able to be in any position even next year, because anything above, I mean, we put another $1,000 on the base in order to fund that. For me, it's pretty simple. Two things gotta happen. We gotta get more kids because we get paid by the kids, or we're gonna have to reduce the amount of people that we're actually paying. To give you another $1,000. I know one of those things we don't control. We don't control how many kids come in the door, right? We can't control the other thing. But those are the levers we have when you're talking about $1 million swings. You're not gonna do it with the copy paper budget, right? And the light bill is going to be the light bill, right? Gas man's going to get what the gas man sends you the bill. So you know, those are the levers we have. And it bothers me. It really does. I mean, I want to be strong and fair. Came with what I felt the budget would support. I know it's not enough. It's never going to be enough, right? When is it ever going to be enough? But unfortunately, I can't recommend to this group that we move past on the financial side what I've laid out for you.
Can you remind me what percent you're intending to be at for the LOB?
We're going to be just right at 30%.
So we also have the lever of increasing the LOB, which is, I mean, clearly not your preferred lever, but it is there.
You can. We're raising the LOB $1 million this year from, we're gonna propose adopting $1 million more to help fund this budget. Again, there's gonna be a group of us that are gonna be at that budget hearing, right? Because not just for us, but right, there's a community that gets to decide whether or not that's fair. And we have a revenue neutral rate that we're going to go well past this year. You know, we've kind of rubbed up against it, went over it. This year, we're gonna have some folks, I'm certain of it, right? So, I've always said, we gotta be fair and strong and fund the business we have. We have to. But, right, we're driven by ad valorem taxes and on that LOB in our capital outlay. So we also have to take those homeowners into consideration. Particularly in an environment where the home values have went bananas, right? So we get beat up a little bit for your property taxes going up. And not so much from what we leverage or try to collect, but more so, these property values have went a little bit crazy. So yes, I was part of the team that recommended us having an election. We do have that 33%. I think, again, that is something, that's a tool we want to manage. 2 years ago, we were at 33.9. Last year, we adopted 34.9. My proposal to the board is adding another $1 million to that this year. But that is a significant increase to the revenue neutral rate. We're going to argue for it because you're worth it. We're going to argue for it on September 4th. We'll see what the broader community thinks.
Do you know comparatively where we fall in that, do you know?
Yeah, we're a little above statewide average, I think. It hovers around 29% or just a little over 20%.
And in our area, do you know?
Oh, on the LOB, no, but that's not hard.
My understanding is, just to be clear,
Yeah.
what we've been informed is that we're the lowest in our area.
Yeah, and we've been
That
intentional.
almost all of them almost max out, if not max out. So. Okay, anybody have any questions? Um. You know me, I like to lay it out there. I'll just be honest, I think where we are is. I don't think you guys are willing to give on Article 20. I don't think. We are confident that. Only, without Article 20 that I can. Get the $1,000, that people are gonna be okay with that. But I don't know that if, I think we've reached a point where we're kind of stuck in a corner. I don't have anything else to offer. I don't have anything else to give you. I feel like I've laid out where the overwhelming majority of our bargaining unit sits. I think we're all very clear about how we feel and probably how your team feels. I think we've all kind of just laid it out there, so. I mean, at this point, I guess. We'll just have to look at. Ratifying what we've got, TAing on what we've got on the table and. Seeing how it goes and running the risk of potentially having to come back to the table if that doesn't go the way that we want it to. So this is just an update to. The, section A of Article 38, the fringe benefits. You guys have this, right? Yeah. I'm pretty sure you do. I think one of you has this. Okay, that just removes the. Sunset provision, I mean, it removes the rate differential altogether. But maintains the $600 on a single policy that you guys have committed to. In there. I don't think that we had any opposition to your, language on Article 9 that you presented. I do know, I assume it was Billy, so thank you. I did get a call from one of the people I used as an example, actually, when we talked about the Article 26 coverage in elementary schools. Apparently admin already know that this is not a preferred thing, that we don't want people being full. I'm not sure who communicated that. But I actually got some phone calls about that, and one of them knew that it was her story I'd used, so she called to thank me for that. So I have language about how we don't consider that to be preferred that I would love to share with you. I'm not gonna die on the hill about it, because it's been communicated clearly, it's something that you guys are sticking to. But if we wanna look at that, I have language for that just adds a couple of words to the sentence that's already there.
Can I share, Brenda, that Ms. Wallace and I had met with the elementary principals? Ms. Wallace was the one who had explained that expectation.
Yeah, I mean, and clearly it was very clear, because I know my friend got a personal phone call letting her know before she reported back that that wouldn't be a concern this year. And that that was not their intention this year, and to reassure, I mean, her numbers were pretty significant, I think, but. So,
Not that it will never happen.
right, and she was well, yeah, she's well aware, but she appreciated that that was handled and taken care of, so. I know she's feeling a little bit better about starting her year.
Good.
So hopefully they all are. So yeah, so if you wanna see what I wrote up for that, I'm happy to share it with you. I mean, it's up to you guys, whether you wanna look at that or you wanna just say it's taken care of and we're just gonna move on.
I think that it's been addressed,
And
particularly if people are burning down phones.
yeah,
So. Brenda, I'm thinking, it's 6:05.
mhm.
Can we call it a night and be able to come with all of the items hopefully ready to TA and just wrap everything up next Wednesday?
Yeah, can we just make sure we are clear on what that is? I just wanna make sure I don't miss something.
Yes.
So that puts this Article 38 that we just handed out.
We'll need to discuss, but yes,
Okay, the Article 9 language that you guys gave,
okay,
the $1,000 on the base with the $500 step for those that are eligible. That you guys presented last time.
with the insurance being noted.
Yeah, and I wanna make sure because I don't want. Even by accident, anybody to go back to 5:30s, right? I want, because this is a tricky time of year.
Yeah.
I'm kind of stumbling around here, but open enrollment is August 1st through the 18th. We have less than 2 weeks then, for your first paycheck to get your benefits right. And what we're paying for and what you're paying for. So I just want to make sure that we all agree that, right, everybody's okay with the $600 because that's what we're paying. And so your paychecks look like they should look for the balance of the school year coming up.
And I don't know that it's been said out loud on camera. We're not in any way, and I don't think anyone in any way is trying to discount. I know that our team especially is well aware of what that money amount, where that comes from and where that money came from previously. We understand the impact of that commitment, and no one, I don't think, is trying to take that away. I think everyone is aware. It's just it's hard, right? And when the overwhelming majority of people that you get coming to you saying, this just isn't a livable wage anymore. And I can't imagine having kids. I can't imagine having a spouse, and I can't imagine having to budget for those things, considering the rising cost of healthcare across the country. I'm not just ours. I mean, everybody's
Right.
going up. You're not wrong about that.
And my point was, we have a real short window
Yeah,
to start sending files back and forth with Blue
Right.
Cross and Blue Shield, because we have to do probably 10 test files and.
yeah, and nobody's
Okay.
discounting that at all.
Okay.
We appreciate that. We know that that money is a lot.
We don't wanna screw this.
I
up.
did some Googling real quick while you were talking and I'll be honest with people, it is pretty close to the national averages of employer versus employee covered percentages. Like, it comes pretty close, within 2 percentage points. So, I mean, that's not insignificant and no one is discounting that. It's just, we all know that things are hard and when your paycheck is not, I mean, we also understand that 10% of people with $1,000 will take home less money than they're taking home this year. We know that. We did that math. That's hard to sell to that 10%. And that 10% talks to the other 90%. That's hard to sell to those people. So, I mean, we're not discounting what you're doing. We all know it's hard out there right now. My grocery bill was astronomical this week. I mean, everything's just more expensive. We all know that. I mean, you
Yesterday.
pay the bills, you know that.
Yeah, no, I bought dog food with it, so. Yeah, stupid.
Brenda, I appreciate you speaking to that. I think it does, bring everyone around this table together. We start out by saying, we all want the same thing. We want the very best for our staff. We want the best teachers in our classroom. We want staff to feel valued. Sometimes in the middle of all this, it feels like we, tend to drift apart in that, but, that is the goal, and I appreciate you clarifying that. I think, we have watched Gary at the table for a long time and feel like we can count on what's being put on the table really is what we can do.
Me and Gary will never fiscally agree, but that's okay. We know that, it's okay.
That's not true, Brenda.
You mean we'll agree when you don't work here anymore? That's my only other option, Gary.
Wow.
Let's go, I think we kind of got away from
Yeah,
what's our
yeah.
best. number.
So Article 38 that we just gave you, Article 9, the $1,000, we have Article 31 still to do about the unified sport. Isn't that-
36.
Thank you.
Yep, 36. And
And then all of the housekeeping.
the house,
This is it.
which I'm gonna come with the freshest copy.
Okay,
Uh,
I didn't find anything in here that I found that was incorrect.
How about I print and bring you a copy
Okay.
tomorrow so that you can look through that? Since it's such a large document before Wednesday. Is
Okay.
that fair?
Yep.
Okay.
So we will be prepared with a clean copy of 38 and we'll have a 9 still. And then I don't think I have a clean copy anymore of 36.
I will bring that.
And the salary schedule. I don't think I have a clean copy of those two.
I think that covers it.
And then what's gonna be the same? Was it 4:30? No, no, okay.
Yes. Yes, it was.
So we are a week from today. 4:30 here.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.